Hello, welcome to Ghost Prime Transformers Reviews. Today I'll be taking a look at the Earthrise Astro Squad, Fuser, and Blastmaster. Now, Fuser was named Phaser in the Generation 1 line, and probably they changed it, most likely due to copyright. Trademark reasons. This guy and this guy are updates to the part of the Astro Squad that came out in 1990 of Transformers. Now, they were never in the cartoon. I'm honestly not sure if they actually showed up in the comic books or not. These kind of hold a special place for me. One of the only original figures from Generation 1 that I have from when I was a kid is Phaser, or Fuser. I still have him today, which is great, and I'm going to be comparing him. I don't have Blastmaster, though, in Generation 1, unfortunately. I did lose all the rest except for him. Childhood. So, without any further ado, let's get to the review. I just want to give a quick look at the packaging with the art there, the space shuttle. One thing I do want to point out is that it does come with a map piece, but it does not come with a decoder. Let's get in close here so we could see just what piece of chain that is. There you go, if you're collecting these. So if you're collecting those, might want to think about getting this guy. On the back, you do get to see both of their modes here and the shuttle mode. And you can see how he actually comes on to Ironworks here. He connects onto this sort of transformation here. What's interesting about this is the grease pit version, or a grease pit transformation that they use for Ironworks. Of course, they are a repaint of each other, so it makes sense, but Ironworks actually does not have this. So see, to get this, you have to actually go into the grease pit instructions and look at that. So this will show up there, so you can actually form that, or of course you could always just look at the picture. And of course in the package you get both Fuser and Blastmaster. So yeah, these guys are looking pretty good. Very nicely updated Generation 1 modes. So let's take a look at them a little closer. Alright, first things first, let's get into articulation. So let's start out with Fuser. The Fuser is articulated here at the shoulder on either side. He is on a ball joint and can do full 360. That's about all for the arm. He does not have any elbows, wrists, or any of those sorts of joints. He does have a waist joint, which is tight, and the leg pops off almost constantly. So he does have a little bit of knee, and I can't really rotate his leg at all without it popping off the socket. It doesn't like to go. This one here can move a bit, so we will show you this one. So this is about as far as you go with his leg in the front, and they are very tight joints. And back like so, so not too far. Of course, the knees can turn almost all the way due to transformation. Waist swivel, which is hindered by the backpack when he has it actually fully transformed. And of course, shoulders up and down like this, no head articulation. For Blastmaster, you have a very similar sort of articulation where you have his arms on a ball joint. He does not have the shoulder swivel because it's not needed for transformation, but it can't go too far because of the backpack. So you can really only go all the way up like this and all the way down. And yeah, they pop off. As you can see, it is a ball joint. That is one thing that gets me about these figures. They do not stay together very well. Let's just pop that right back on. Alright, moving in real close here. As you can see, Blastmaster and Fuser are very nicely sculpted. I have a hard time getting Blastmaster to stand up. He just doesn't want to do it. Just doesn't want to stand up at all, even considering he has big, bulky feet. Lead him way forward. There, well, he still doesn't want to stand. So let's take a close look at Fuser and all his little details here. He's got a nicely painted face. Interestingly enough, he actually comes with some sculpted in guns, which is very, very, very interesting there. I think that's the first time. I don't remember them doing that on another figure. You could correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's the first time I have seen that. On the back, he has the space shuttle bits, a little bit hollow on the leg, and some, looks like the EC code or something like that on the back. So, then on Blastmaster, again, wonderfully painted face. I actually like the design of his chest here. He has the wheel sculpted into his arms, bulky feet, which of course he does not stand well, giant wings on the back. But this actually goes down. Hollowness right there on the back of the legs, and the whole shuttle engine on the back. See if I get him to stand. There we go. So let's move on to some comparisons really fast. Here's how Fuser compares to Phaser, the original Generation 1 version. They do share a ton of similarities, including color. As you can see, though, the legs are not blue on the Earthrise version as they are on Generation 1, but they do retain a lot of the same detailing on the chest and a very similar head crest, including the little pieces on either side. Of course, he doesn't have guns in his hands, but yeah. So overall, pretty good update. So what I'm going to do with this, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and put the image of him right here. So you could just check out the similarities between Blastmaster in Generation 1 and the updated version for Earthrise. And here's a quick comparison with Optimus Prime. As you can see, very small through the leader class Optimus Prime figure. They don't even reach his knee. So yeah, these guys are fairly little. All right, back after a few camera issues. There's one more comparison I did forget to show, which was this guy, which is based on Blastmaster for the, I believe, the Combiner Wars, Titans Returns, one of those lines. He actually transforms into a gun. So let's get into transformation. Let's start off with Blastmaster here. What you want to do is you want to first take the legs, and there's a peg. Let's see if you get in the back, you probably see a little better. There's a peg right there. And what that does is that pegs together, like so. And then you take his legs and fold them both back around and hit these little pegs here. See if you guys can see that. It's kind of tiny to get in there. Those pegs and those slots kind of just slot it together like that. Right, now you could take the tail fin, and move that up, turn him around. You want to take this little piece here of his chest, flip that down so you could get in there and actually push his head back, and then you go all the way in. So it pushes in further than it does in robot mode. His arms, they do slot in here, so if you leave them out, the wings won't go down all the way. So you kind of slot and kind of just push them in on either side. You'll hear a snap or feel a snap. And the same with the wings. There's a little tab. See if you can see it. Let's see if you get that in focus. Right there, this little tab kind of uses friction, just kind of snap in place. And there you have the back of the shuttle. Now for this guy, what you want to do is you want to take his legs again. There's the same type of tab in the back. Tab them together. Kind of snap them like that. Then you want to take the front part of the spaceship, the shuttle, move it up, move this piece up, so you can now rotate the waist, like so. And we'll keep the arms moved out. Move the knees together. You want to take these up and kind of push it like this. And then you could take the arms, move them up and in. To get that together, you want the guns to fit in these slots. You do that for both sides. We kind of push it together. And you want to take this little back flap piece, move that down, and that's got this little kind of like friction tabs right there, and kind of move that in. So you have this part of the shuttle and this part of the shuttle. Then you can see on the end here, there's these slots on either side, right here and on the other side. And then there's tabs right there. So you just want to line those up, push them in together, and it stays really, really well. And there he is in shuttle mode. So getting a little closer in on the shuttle mode here. Now, as you can see, clearly it says NASA. So this is a licensed space shuttle. And I have to say, this is probably the most accurate that we have gotten to a space shuttle in Transformers in quite some time. So yeah, he looks pretty nice. You got the thrusters back there. Very cool. All in all, very, very cool. All right, moving on to some comparisons. So first we're going to start out with Astro Train from the Siege and Earthrise line. As you can see, he is quite a bit smaller. And even smaller than still, Earthrise Skylinks. As you can see, these are both NASA approved designs of the space shuttle. They're both licensed by NASA. And he is an absolute baby compared to Skylinks here. I mean, there's just no comparison, the size. One of the things that little features that this guy has is that he has these pegs on him. There's a peg here, so you can kind of use them as a gun if you so wish, like this. But you could also use these pegs on the back and the front to peg them onto any 5mm port. So you could kind of open up the base here and just kind of stick the mini shuttle onto the large shuttle, which, I don't know, it doesn't look so bad. It's kind of silly, but it doesn't look so bad. And here he is with that Titan's Return one. And the half of the G1 that I still own from childhood. As you can see, they'd be relatively close in size, which is cool. All right, now let's bring in Ironworks and this mode, which you will find the instructions for this mode within the packaging instructions for Grease Pit. So what you could do with this guy is you could just pin that down right there to that hole, kind of make it like a platform. Just kind of how they showed in the instructions. Altogether, I think, oh, that's tight. Altogether, I think it's rather silly. I don't think there's any real need to have a platform for him like this, which he barely fits on. But it is something you could do, or something they show that you could do. I think he'd be better served as you could actually build this up to put him up like this. Now, I wish that these were 5mm ports, because if they were, then you could just stick that on. But unfortunately, they are not. They do hold blast effects, like so. If you want them to have a huge blast, they do have blast effects. So you go, that is something that's, you know, that is nice. If you want them to be a gun, again, you could pull this peg down and he could be a entirely space shuttle gun. You can't take this down, the tail, when he is in this mode, because it hits the head on the inside. So you have to leave that up. So it's not like you could just turn it upside down, move the wings, and then it could be a gun, because this is the wrong way. You can't turn it around. It doesn't make a very good gun, in my opinion. But I do like that he does have the blast effects ports on him, so you could make him, you know, look like he's going real quick. So yeah, overall, I love this guy. The little NASA logo, very legit looking space shuttle. Overall, he's very nice. I do wish that he had his other friends with him, but I can only hope for those to come out in the future. As it is, I enjoy them, even with the problems I have with Fuser, with that leg popping off, which is kind of a shame. Now, of course, your mileage may vary on them. But if you see these in the store, they're not very much, so I would pick them up if you have a couple extra bucks. So I'll see you guys next time. So please like, subscribe, hit the downvote button if you have to. See you later.